releasing of the body and relaxing in the body and, you know, all the stuff we need right now to have a little extra peace and joy and get rid of stuff we just don't need. That's my goal. Get rid of things we just don't need.
A big old amen.
Yep. There's just a lot of stuff we hold on to. We just don't need it anymore.
No.
We're going to rest our tailbone, send our spine tall, relax our shoulders. Let's pick up the ribs as we inhale. Shoulders, hips relax as we exhale. Feel a little length in the spine, a little release through the shoulders. Let's send an ear to the shoulder and let the side of the neck stretch open. As we lift up tall, releasing towards the other side. Lifting up tall, sliding our shoulder blades up and down just a few times. With our shoulders relaxing, let's stretch one arm up towards the sky. Send it over the head and take a moment to feel the tailbone and the shoulder pulling in opposite directions. And then with our exhale, maybe drawing our fingertips towards the ground and rest. Maybe inhaling and reaching back open, lifting our chin towards the sky. And you can keep flowing with the breath. Exhale, releasing. Inhaling, opening. Just let a little release through the breath. And then we'll pull the ribs back tall at straight sides whenever we're ready, lifting and reaching over. Let the tailbone, shoulders pull away from each other. And then we'll take a moment to open on the inhale and rest through the exhale. And create any range of motion, any pace of movement, just whatever we need today through our body as we breathe. With our ribs reaching tall, relax the shoulders up and down, letting both palms open and our inhales pull the heart to the sky. Exhaling, thumbs down to the heart. Inhaling as we lengthen. Exhaling as we lower. One more breath, reaching up. Relaxing down. And then reaching both arms tall, rotate the ribs, let the arms release. You can stay there or reach back to neutral and rest over to the other side. So maybe flow with the breath. Lengthening and releasing. So stretch and rest through each exhale. Maybe one more each direction. And then anytime we found a little bit of evenness, relax into neutral. Feel the shoulders pulling and pressing towards the floor. With our shoulder blades resting, reaching our bodies to all fours. Pulling our wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips, lengthening through our spine. Inhaling as we send our heart open to cow. Exhaling as we fold our ribs in to cat. Finding that flowing movement as we breathe. Inhaling as we open. Exhaling as we fold. A little stretch through our spine, releasing through our breath. And our body's welcome to keep the movement flowing up and down. We can feel neutral spine and add the side-to-side movement, getting shoulders and hips to reach towards each other. Continuing to breathe. And anytime we feel a little evenness, returning to our neutral spine. With our inhale, sending the right thigh up towards the sky. It can stay, or you can feel the heel press back, opening the thigh to the side, and then maybe pulling the knee towards the shoulder, and then option to stretch the heel out towards straight. And then we'll come back to neutral. Try that again. Inhale, lifting, feeling maybe a little bit more openness. Exhale, folding, staying, or extending out. And then one more time. Inhaling, thigh open, and maybe out. Exhaling in, and maybe out. And then resting the knee and folding back to child's pose just for a moment. Arms can stay reaching forward, or arms can stretch all the way over towards one side, feeling reach in our side body. And then maybe stretching back to neutral and over towards the other side. As we feel our bodies relax back into the center, returning to our all fours, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, and then we'll trade legs. Let the left thigh lift up or open, and then the left knee fold in and maybe extend out. Do that a couple more times. Inhale up and maybe out. Exhale to the shoulder and maybe up. And then we'll do one more. Lifting, reaching, stretching, releasing. We'll feel our ways back into the center. Returning to our child's pose, maybe we continue to rest, or we can lift to downward dog. Tucking into the toe, feeling grounding through our fingertips, feeling length in our tall spine. Knees can be bent or straight, or we can move our legs. Finding any movement pattern or stillness that our body's creating a little extra today. Let's send our feet up towards our hands, feeling rest in our body's forward fold. Maybe fingertips on the ground, maybe fingertips up towards the shins, or resting fingertips on the thighs. We can stay with gravity, maybe head and neck flows up and down a few times, maybe relaxing side to side a few times, maybe flowing up and down again. Letting our inhale reach us up just halfway. Grounding our heels, let's inhale, lift up all the way to the sky. Exhaling thumbs into our heart. Then we're going to reach our feet wide. You're welcome to move sideways on the mat, feeling our toes draw towards the corners. Fingertips to the sky. Let's flow with the breath. Exhaling, tailbone back, elbows in. Inhaling, reaching out. Exhaling back. Inhaling, tailbone. Just get a little flow as we breathe. Any range of motion, any pace of movement, finding peace through the breath. If we feel like circling the arms, our fingertips can reach towards the ground. Fingertips can reach towards the sky. We feel maybe just a little flow as we breathe. Now the next time our arms reach up to the sky, we can keep the legs straight. We can send the tailbone back. We're sliding our elbows in line with the shoulders. Pick up the lower belly and then pull the elbows back. Squeeze the elbows forward. Opening and folding. Stretch and release as we breathe. Now we can stay with the side, our elbows out, elbows in movement. Or as the elbows come to the side, you can send one elbow up to the sky, the other elbow up to the sky. Find a little stretch. Side to side. Keep breathing. As we feel just a little evenness, resting our palms. Draw the ribs parallel. Take a couple of breaths as we inhale and push the collarbone forward. Exhale, relax. Inhaling, pressing collarbone forward. Exhale, relax. Maybe one more. Inhale, pressing open. Exhale, rest. Grounding our tailbone, lengthening our heels, lengthening our spine, our tailbone, and relaxing thumbs to the heart. Pulling our feet up to the front of the mat, opening our lungs with our inhale, swan diving through the exhale. Sliding our right knee and toes back behind us. Finding rest. Arms can be inside or outside the front leg, wherever we feel stable. Feeling the inhale, guiding our heart forward. Feeling our exhale, relaxing our hips back. We can stay with either movement. We can flow back and forth and feel just a little reach and release as we breathe. We can keep the movement flowing back and forth. If our body would like a moment of stillness, maybe we find a place to relax into the stretch, resting and releasing through our exhales. Any extra sensations, feeling flow out of the body with each breath. Our next inhale sends our heart to the front of the mat, relaxing our heel back towards child's pose or any position of rest that we're feeling good about at the moment. Hanging out or inhaling, finding a kneeling plank. We can stay lifting collarbone, rib, lower belly, and stabilize. As we exhale, option to fold the elbows towards the ribs. Inhale, lift the heart open. Exhaling, reaching our hips back. Feeling just a moment to breathe. Feeling rest through our breath. Sending the right foot into our lunge. Sliding heel under knee. Arms can be on either side or the inside. Maybe we're inhaling, guiding our heart forward. Maybe we're exhaling, relaxing our hips back. And we can keep flowing with our body's breath pace. We can always have an option of stillness anytime we're feeling just an extra awesome stretch and we want to hang out in, just letting our breath relax the body as we feel release through each exhale. We're welcome to keep flowing. Maybe we enjoy a place of stillness to feel release, resting through each breath. Letting that next inhale send our heart forward, guiding our back toes towards our front toes, finding any variation of forward fold that feels supported at the moment. Letting our inhale pull our body up halfway, planting our heels and inhaling, lifting all the way up to the sky, and then exhale, pressing back into a chair pose. Inhaling, reaching tall. Exhaling, sinking down. Try one more breath. And now opening. Exhale, sinking, pushing through the palms. Pull through the lower belly. Option to wiggle out the toes. Maybe even sending some weight towards the toes and weight towards the heels. You can pick up part of the foot, or we can just guide weight forward and back, wherever our body is feeling pretty stable at the moment. With our heels resting, our palms rest. Inhaling, opening our heart. Exhaling, ribs towards the thighs. Sliding left toes back behind us, finding our lunge. Back knee lifted or lowered. Maybe twisting towards the front thigh and open the chest. Returning to child's pose or downward dog, taking a moment to hang out. Maybe we're moving with our breath, feeling plank or kneeling plank. We can hang out. We can fold with control, elbows towards the ribs. Inhaling, lifting the front side body. Exhaling, resting. Finding just a moment to breathe, getting a few releasing exhales. Helping our left toes travel up towards the front of the mat, heel resting under the knee, our lunge of choice. Maybe twisting towards the front thigh. And then returning, child's pose or downward dog. Feeling just a moment of relaxation, just a moment of rest into our breath. Option to guide the right toes up towards the sky, sending our right foot wide outside the right hand. Back knee can be lifted or lower, whichever feels more stable. Palms can rest under the shoulders, or maybe we make fist for wrist, kind of depends on how our body feels at the moment. Let's be mindful our hip, knee, and toes are all reaching in the same direction. So we start to inhale our heart towards the front of the mat and exhale our hips towards the back of the mat. You can stay in either option. You can flow a little bit, feel a little bit more stretch in the outer hip and hamstring as we stretch and release through this wide lunge, wide half pyramid option, and feel a little release happening in our hips, our hip flexor in the back, a little relaxation through our arms, our ribs, and breathe. Now the next time that our body reaches towards the front of the mat, finding lift through the collarbone, lift through the lower belly, and then option to move the front leg. So maybe the outer hip stretches out to stay, or maybe we squeeze inner thigh in, press outer hip out, and create any flowing movement, any range of motion, any pace of movement, or staying out or in, letting our body decide what we need the most today. Many times we have a tendency to keep stress and tension in our hips, so when we actively release different areas of our hips, we're helping our body to let things go we just don't need today. Then we'll let the foot come in if that feels like a good option. Palms can continue under the shoulders, or elbows can rest under the shoulders. From wherever we're at, thinking about our heart, drawing towards our thumbs, feeling that big stretch from the back thigh all the way through the top of the head, and then lift through the collarbone to feel stability as we're not trying not to sink into our shoulders as we breathe. And then we have the option just continue in peace here, breathing through any extra sensations. If we want a little bit more active movement, you can tuck into the back toe, maybe lift the back thigh to stay, or move the back thigh towards the ground, back thigh towards the sky. And it doesn't have to be a big movement. As we activate through the thigh and the hip, we feel a little strength building through our body, keeping our joints stable as we relax through our breath. Then we can keep the forearms on the ground, or if it feels better, send the palms back under the shoulders. We can take the front toes back to child's pose or downward dog, or back up to the sky to three-legged dog, wherever we're feeling a good stretch. Or if the elbows are down, you can find that dolphin position. And we find a position of rest, relaxing for a moment, maybe inhaling, feeling plank or kneeling plank, maybe exhaling, elbows to ribs, inhaling the heart open, and exhaling our hips back. Take just a moment to breathe, resting through our exhales. And if we're feeling like a three-legged dog, our left toes can travel up to the sky, sending that left foot wide outside our left hand. The back knee can be lifted or lowered. Being mindful our hip, knee, and toes travel in that same plane of movement as we inhale. Guide our heart forward. Exhaling, relax our hips back. And feel that reach. Release any range of motion, any pace of movement. Our body may decide to stay a little bit longer than an inhale, a little bit longer than an exhale. So we get to listen to our body today and allow our body to decide where we feel like relaxing as we rest into our breath. And maybe as our hips and heart reach towards the front of the mat, we are enjoying stillness or opening the outer hip out to stay, or folding in and releasing out, just wherever our bodies feel like stretching at the moment, resting through our exhales. And with the sole of the foot feeling the ground, again, our palms can remain under the shoulders, or our elbows can release under the shoulders. Wherever our arms are resting, we're going to think about the rib cage reaching towards the thumbs, feeling that big stretch through the front side body, and the collarbone lifting to stabilize the shoulders. So we find that stretch. In the lizard pose, you can stay with the back knee relaxing. We can tuck into the back toes and lift the knee off the ground, or we can think about that thigh moving. Front of the thigh pushing towards the ground, back of the thigh pressing towards the sky, activating those big muscle groups in our legs, building strength through our body as we breathe. And when we're ready, elbows can stay on the ground, or palms can stay on the ground, our body's choice. Guiding our front toes back to child's pose, downward dog, three-legged dog, whatever they feel like reaching at the moment. Enjoying a place of stillness and rest, maybe feeling like some movements flowing our bodies through plank or kneeling plank to stay, maybe welcoming any movement, feeling like you can exhale elbows to ribs, inhale the heart open, you can exhale, relax anytime, finding just a moment to breathe, creating rest through our breath. And when we're ready, if we're feeling like a three-legged dog, right toes can travel up to the sky, right foot can find its way into our lunge, and send our hands inside. If it feels available, plant our heel so our toe reaches sideways or forward, and we're going to take the arm of this front leg, and fingertips can stay on the ground, or the back of the forearm can press into the inner calf or thigh, or we can lift the elbow up to the thigh, but we're not putting a whole bunch of weight in the thigh. We're just letting our arm relax. Now the arm of this back leg gets to help pull the rib cage open to the side as we inhale, and then we exhale that top arm towards the ground. And feel a little flow with the breath. Inhale, expanding. Exhale, releasing, stretching through our breath. Now the next time our arm reaches up to the sky, we might feel like moving the front leg. So be mindful we're not pushing weight into the quads. So if that feels better, you can just push into the thigh or the calf and feel your inner thigh pull the front leg towards straight and the outer hip draw the knee towards the heel. And we squeeze and reach. Find that stretch through the breath. You can even let your arm just hang using our obliques to find stillness and stability through our breath. And then anytime we're ready, returning to our body's lunge, releasing the back knee and stretching that front leg towards straight just for a moment. Rest in peace. You can stay here as long as that feels like a good stretch. Maybe we feel like returning to child's pose or downward dog, enjoying a moment of release and rest. Maybe we feel like more movement pulling us through our plank or kneeling plank. May we stay. May we exhale. Elbows and ribs. Inhale, lungs lifting. Exhaling, hips resting. Allowing our body a moment of peace and stillness as we breathe. If we like that three-legged dog from a downward dog option, we can send the left toes to the sky, helping the left foot rest up into our lunge, letting the heel release under the knee, and sending the arms inside the front leg. And then maybe find that warrior two leg with the back heel grounding toe towards the side. Again, this front hand arm can pretty much stay where it's at, or you can lift it up a little bit or let the elbow softly rest. The arm of the back leg pulls the heart up to the sky as we inhale. We can stay or you can flow. Exhale, top arm towards the bottom leg, lift up towards the sky, and feel any flowing movement, noticing strength and release as we feel reach through our breath. When we twist out, getting our digestive system to activate, moving those organs. Now the next time, stretch out to the sky. We're going to have the option to move this front leg, reminding our body not to hang out on the leg. We're going to push the leg towards straight, squeeze that knee back towards the heel. Does not have to completely lengthen. Finding any range of motion, any pace of movement that feels the most stable today as we stretch through our breath. And we'll end up returning to our body's lunge, resting the back knee and maybe stretching that front leg towards straight, allowing release through our hips, our shoulders. Our body finds a moment of rest. Here we can stay, or maybe fold the body back to child's pose or downward dog, noticing a moment of relaxation. Maybe we're flowing, choosing plank or kneeling plank to stay and stabilize. Our elbows can reach into the rib cage. Inhale, the heart open, and exhale, the hips back. Finding just a couple of releasing, restful breaths. Now we're welcome to continue as we are. If it feels okay from a downward dog, widening our toes to the sides of the mat, maybe hanging out in this wide leg downward dog. We're beginning to walk the hands towards the legs, feeling this body releasing into a wider forward fold and resting through the breath. We're welcome to continue in the wide forward fold. We can sink our tailbone back and maybe feel our toes, knees, hips reaching out to that angle position, creating any variation of a squat we like. So we can stop with the hip in line with the knees, using the elbows to open the inner thighs. Or you can keep your heels wide or wiggle them a little closer together as we have the option to sink our hips towards the heels into a little more narrow yoga squat. And feel the spine grow tall. Feel the shoulders, the hips release as we breathe. Have the option to wiggle out the toes. And then anytime we're ready, feel the inner thighs engage, lower belly engage, and we feel that strength pull us up to the sky, fingertips reaching tall, and our heart lifts open. With our arms relaxing by our side, we can add a little sway, maybe lifting the heel as we flow, shoulders, arms a bit side to side. And then we're relaxing, shoulders and hips. And when we're ready, finding a place for balancing, planting through one foot. The other thigh can be forward or open, creating inner thigh engagement, lower belly engagement, feeling grounding, our palms at the heart, toe resting or floating. Foot can feel the calf or helping it to the inner thigh. Palms grounding at the heart or resting or stretching towards the sky anywhere. Feeling pretty stable today. Let's breathe. Finding a few releasing exhales. Rest as we relax our joints, making any movements that feel good. And when we're ready, treading legs. The other thigh feels the ground, the other thigh forward or open, stretching in and up as we feel our strong engagement. Toe can stay on the ground or float, feeling our foot connection that isn't pressing into our joints. Stabilizing with the palms at the heart, or resting, or reaching, or stretching towards the sky. Feeling a moment to breathe. Relaxation, moving our joints a bit. And we'll reach into our eagle pose. So allowing the other foot to feel the ground. The other thigh crosses over, squeezing thighs, belly. Arm at the front, top leg is under as our arms make an X. And we can draw the fingertips to the shoulders or guide the back of the hands or fingertips towards each other, shoulder blades wiggling down. Then we can continue here. Inhale, lift the ribs. And exhale, push the elbows forward and the tailbone back. Toe can stay with that top leg on the ground or float, or if your joints allow, they can hook behind the calf. Any movement, feeling good about. So we squeeze in, find stability through each breath. Our bodies can stay in eagle. We can unravel and open into star pose, pressing through the fingers, through the heel, and breathe. Resting here, let's shake out the joints. Give everything a little release. Trading our legs. The other foot feels the ground, the other thigh crossing over. Squeezing in, lifting it. Arm of the top leg is under as we make our X. Choosing fingers at the shoulders or back of the hands or palms, shoulder blades wiggling, hanging out, or inhale, lifting. Exhaling, elbows forward, tailbone back, toe on the ground or floating, or maybe the foot feels the calf. Take a moment to breathe, strength and stability with each exhale. Hang out in the eagle or unravel in the star, reaching through the fingers and the heel open through the front side body. Resting down, shaking out, relaxing everything, and then find our way back at the front of the mat, lifting our lungs as we inhale, swan dive through the exhale. Reaching either to all fours or downward dog. Enjoying a moment of stillness, or you can find any movement you feel good about as we relax through our breath. We're feeling like a pigeon pose today. Our right toes can travel up to the sky, guiding the right knee up towards the wrist. Back knee can relax, or we can send the tailbone towards the ground, and we can stay where the hands landed or lift the ribs up taller, opening the chest and staying lifted. Maybe exhaling into more of a diagonal or folding and resting the body. So wherever we've landed, noticing a moment of release, a moment of rest and peace as we relax through each breath. Just a moment to rest through each exhale. Next inhale can pull the rib cage back up towards the sky, finding that big lift through our front side body. Returning to where we started, wherever that feels like a good option. Take a moment to breathe. As we're ready to trade sides, maybe the other leg reaches up towards the sky, helping our knees stretch up towards the wrist, back knee and toes relax wherever we're feeling a good release at the moment. Maybe walking the hands in and pulling the lungs towards the sky and staying open, or feeling our diagonal or folding and resting, feeling that release through each exhale, sending out anything our body is holding onto in those hips. Just letting it have the freedom to release out with each breath. Inhale sends our rib cage back open, expanding through our front side body, planting into our palms, grounding that back toe, turning the front foot where we started, wherever, feeling a good stretch at the moment, feeling a moment of rest and release. Anytime we're ready to return to our child's pose, keeping the arms stretching forward or stacking fists under the forehead, or stretching fingertips towards the heels and allowing just a moment of rest and release through our breath. Our next inhale sends our spine tall. Let's rest our tailbone to the ground and reach our legs out ahead of us. So we'll find a little rolling movement, rolling through our tailbone, feeling a little release here as we breathe. And then pulling the spine tall, shoulders rest, inhaling fingertips towards the sky. We can stay, maybe exhaling to the diagonal, maybe folding and resting, our heart towards our thighs, shoulders resting, head and neck releasing just for a moment. Inhale, guys, our spine tall, shoulders relax. Then we'll keep one leg stretching forward. The other leg can open softly or a little bit further, or even reach out like an L in more of a 90 degree. But wherever this side leg is at, let's relax our palms on the front thigh. Then we're going to inhale and push the thigh up into the hands, ribs up to the sky. And then exhale, push the palms into the thighs and the ribs towards the thigh. Now this time we're going to push the thigh up into our hands, but push the heart forward towards the toes. And then exhale, relax them out. Do a couple more. Inhale, pushing the heart forward. Exhale, resting. Maybe one more. Inhale, reaching the heart forward. Exhale, resting. Now we're going to pick up the lower belly, squeeze through the thigh that the hands are resting onto, and then maybe draw the arms out to the side. Now we can stay, heart reaching towards the front thigh, or you can start to reach the ribs towards the side leg, and then back towards the front leg. Little rolling side to side, reaching to one leg, reaching to the other leg. And then we'll return to that front leg and just softly release the head, neck, shoulders, ribs, and take a moment to breathe. Then we're inhaling, lifting our spine tall. Let's trade. So the side leg reaches forward, and the front leg reaches to the side, wherever it is. And each side might find a little different extension, wherever you feel good about it. Let's relax the palms on this front, pushing the thigh up into the hand, pushing the heart up to the sky as we inhale, and then exhale, reaching everything forward. And then keep inhaling, thigh up to the hands, but this time heart to the toes. Exhale, resting. Inhaling, heart to the toes. Exhale, resting. Let's find one more. Squeeze it. Rest it down. Now we're going to think about the thigh engaging, the lower belly engaging. Feel support through the spine as our arms reach out to the side. We can stay, heart reaching towards the front leg, or pull the heart towards the side leg, and then back towards the front leg. Find just a little roll movement, side to side. Move through the ribs. Feel that strength through the core, through the thighs, supporting us. And we'll end up turning our body back to the front leg and resting, just letting everything release. Shoulders, ribs, head, neck, all feeling gravitational release as we breathe. Then we'll send our spine back tall, back toes, feel the front toes, rocking our hips just a bit. We can keep softening the knees or straight legs. Let's lift up tall. Exhale, return to any variation of a forward fold if feeling like. Fingertips resting just anywhere they land. You can rest and relax, or inhale the heart to the toes and exhaling the heart towards the thighs. Breathe. And whenever we're ready, our spine finds length, our shoulders release, wiggling our feet to the front of the mat. So as we find some space to relax behind us, feel inner thigh engagement, feel lower belly engagement, shoulders resting, maybe floating the toes, maybe floating the heels, holding on or reaching out, any variation of a boat pose for just a couple of breaths. And you can relax the heels or keep them lifted as we extend the body and release onto our spine, shoulders resting, heels resting, arms can rest at our side or stretch over the head, and feel that length through the body. And then maybe resting, relaxing the elbows, relaxing our shoulders, feeling peace in our hips, our legs, finding just a moment to breathe. We're welcome to continue this reclined posture. We can wiggle our way into bridge pose, sliding the heels under the knees, fingertips towards the heels, maybe the shoulders wiggle a little closer. So we ground the heels, squeeze thighs, hips, and heart up to the sky, and open through the lungs. We're welcome to feel as much reach and lift through the thighs and hips as our body allows. Feeling strength in the back of the thighs, the hips, lower back. Feeling stretch through the thighs, the hip flexors, the lower belly. Feeling that openness in our rib cage as we pull in that deep inhalation from the nose to the belly. Feeling that deep exhalation as we release everything out of the belly, back out of the nose. Finding rest through our breath. And we'll end up relaxing the tailbone back towards the floor and stretch the right toes up to the sky. And as we hold on to the right thigh, feeling the heel pressing up to the sky, and then maybe resting that straight leg thigh towards the ribs just as far as it wants to release, taking a moment to breathe. We keep the leg straight, working on relaxing through our hamstrings. You can deeply bend the knee and feel the knee resting towards the shoulders. Hands can continue on the thigh, or maybe the same arm as leg finds the calf or the foot, or even peace fingers at the big toe, if that feels like a good option at the moment. And relax for a few resting breaths. Anytime we're ready, releasing that foot to the ground and stretch the other leg up to the sky, reaching the heel as tall as it can go to feel that length through the leg, and maybe feeling our exhale guiding the thigh towards the rib cage with that leg lengthened and the hamstrings releasing through our exhales, finding that peace through our breath. And maybe sliding that knee towards the shoulder, hanging out, hands on the thigh where that same arm as leg can reach up to the side of the calf, or the pinky toe side of the foot, or maybe peace fingers find the big toe, and we feel that release. Those hip flexors are finding freedom and rest as we squeeze that thigh towards the rib cage, wherever our bodies allow that stretch today. Some days it works, some days it doesn't work. And we'll return that heel towards the ground. Option to return to our bridge pose, squeezing thighs, hips, and ribs up towards the sky, opening and lifting through the lungs, and breathe. And with our tailbone resting to the ground, maybe both toes reach up to the sky. We can push the heels up to the sky, and our hands can reach up to the thighs, maybe pulling both of those straight legs towards the rib cage. Breathe here. Feeling a little more extra hamstring release. Maybe we draw both knees towards the shoulders, finding any variation of a happy baby, feel like. Hands on thighs, calves, feet, or peace fingers at the big toes, enjoying stillness, or if you're a happy baby, maybe rocking the spine a bit, side to side, and breathe. Then anywhere we're at, resting our hands towards the thighs, relaxing in stillness, We're rocking side to side as we hug the thighs towards the chest and relax the tailbone, the ribs, the lower back to the ground. Maybe we just stay with this little rocking movement side to side. We'd like a little bit more deeper rotation for our spine, holding on to the right leg, feeling that left heel stretch all the way out towards the foot of the mat, feeling the thighs actively reaching away from each other. Maybe we add our twist, sliding our knee across the body, gazing away from that bent knees, our shoulders, and our hips. Feel that release, relax through our exhales, just a moment of peace through each breath. Anytime we're ready, moving the thighs back in to the chest, enjoying grounding, or maybe adding those rocking movements side to side. Again, we can continue our rocking movement, or maybe we're holding on to the left thigh, allowing our right heel to press to the foot of the mat. We can stay pulling thighs away from each other. We can add that spinal twist anytime we're ready, feeling hips and shoulders relaxing. Feeling rest and peace through our spine, each breath. Feeling relaxation and rest through our exhales. Just anywhere our body's feeling like breathing into the stretch, feeling rest through each exhale. Send our bodies back in to neutral spine, relaxing the thighs to the chest in stillness, or maybe adding that little rocking movement side to side just a couple of times. We'll let our heels press up to the sky, pushing the forearms into the ground, lower belly grounds. You can keep the legs reaching up to the sky, or maybe one heel reaches towards the ground and then lifts. The other heel can reach towards the ground and then lift, and feel a few reaching movements, strengthening through our abdominals, our thighs, finding reach as we breathe. We keep moving one leg at a time. We're squeezing the inner legs towards each other as both heels stretch towards the ground. We may not have as much range of motion, still trying to ground that lower back towards the floor to keep our spine stable. So when we feel it starting to lift, we're going to let the legs come back up to the sky. And then if we're moving one leg at a time, let's even things out. And whenever we find a little evenness, sliding our feet wide, maybe adding some windshield wipering movements, flowing thighs towards one side, flowing thighs towards the other side, letting gravity take over as we relax through our breath. And while many people often keep stress and tension in their thighs, their hips, their shoulders, the digestive system. We've done some movements to release out those areas, but maybe our bodies are feeling extra sensations somewhere else and are craving an extra release that maybe we haven't been guided into today. So our bodies are welcome to find any movement that feels like a good release through our bodies. And then anytime we've evened out any extra movements our bodies have asked for, And our bodies are ready for stillness. We're welcome to keep the feet wide and rest the knees towards each other, resting the spine in our constructive release pose. Maybe we stay here, or we can add a little extra passive release in our hips by sliding the soles of the feet together and opening our knees wide into a reclined butterfly. Maybe we feel more of a traditional relaxation posture by extending our legs, feet open, palms open, body rest in stillness and peace. Allowing our bodies to choose any breathing pattern of relaxation. If it feels comfortable, we have the option to deepen the breath by pulling the air all the way from the nose down to the base of the belly. To release the breath out of the base of the belly back out through our nose. Maybe finding a deeper inhalation, a deeper exhalation. And we're welcome to keep focusing on that deep breath. Our bodies are welcome to add a pause in our breathing. Maybe as we inhale and completely expand our lungs, we pause. And then we exhale, completely release everything out of our lungs and pause. Continuing that soft pause in our breath. If you'd like a longer pause, you're welcome to count at 2, 3, or maybe even longer for each inhale. And then pause for a count of 3 or even longer before each exhale. And noticing that moment of pause, bringing stillness and peace in our body where we don't feel anything moving, we just feel stillness. We feel rest. We feel our body releasing, relaxing, everything that we just don't need out of our bodies with each exhale. Making space for the things we do need with each inhale. We can breathe in any specific words, any specific ideas, any specific thoughts, or just breathe in and out and let our mind focus on our breath. Our bodies continue in our relaxing breathing pattern we created, where we can start traveling the breath into our fingers and our toes, continuing in stillness or welcoming any movements in our bodies at any time, continuing to move the breath into our bodies as we relax through our hands, our feet, breathing through our wrists, our ankles, relaxing the lower legs, the lower arms, releasing our knees, our elbows, relaxing the thighs, the hips, releasing our upper arms and our shoulders, sending the breath into our spine, resting through our tailbone, releasing through the lower back, through the rib cage, relaxing the shoulder blades, the back of the head, and the neck. Continuing in stillness, if it feels okay, you're welcome to send the thighs towards the chest, relaxing the spine into the ground, or inhaling thighs away from the chest, exhaling thighs back into the chest, and maybe a little flowing movement as we relax and release through our exhales. Staying on our spine, or maybe we rest over onto our side and feel our head rest in our hands or upper arms as we gather in some calm, some peace, some rest through one side, and press out anything lingering in our bodies we just don't need today. Feel it releasing out of our body and into the floor, keeping it there. Feeling more space for what we do need to travel in. Feel our bodies peace and calm through the rest of our day. Our next inhale, we're welcome to pull our bodies into any comfortable seated option that works the best on our bodies at the moment. Let your hips and legs be comfortable. Shoulders, tailbone relaxed, spine grows tall. Let's find a few breaths, inhaling fingertips, chin to the sky. Went down the wrong way. Exhale, down. Inhale, lifting. Exhaling, resting. Let's feel one more breath, reaching tall. Resting down. Namaste. And try not to choke on your own spit.
That's always exciting.
So you just didn't work the right way.
Sorry.